Welcome, my name is Graham Want, and today I'm going to show you how to convert a thin client like an HP T620 into a media player that you can plug into your TV. I apologise for the lack of technical sophistication in the production of this video, but I just don't have the fancy equipment. Enjoy! This video was built using three software products. The first was a web application, holidaysnaps.co.nz. This allows you to build a web page that can contain a number of slideshows and videos. This is the web page in front of us I created. At the top we've got a heading, the HP T620 plus Sparky Linux, and we'll end up with TV Media Center. The other application was HyperCam 2, and this records the screen and the audio. And the third one was VSDC free video editor, which is used to produce the final video. So let's now click on the slideshow and get into it. This line at the top there, just ignore that. That's the control plank for the slideshow. Now the device that I used is the T620. It was a dual processor machine and running at 1.6 gigahertz. It has 4 GB of memory and a 16 GB hard disk. And it cost me $84 New Zealand, so not a great outlay. Now we need to get a USB stick with the software on it, so I use Bellina Etcher. And on the left here we can see there's the ISO, which is Sparky Linux XFCE, and here's our USB stick. Just click on flash and that will produce you a bootable USB stick. You could also use another product called Rufus. So when the USB has been created, pull it out and then you can plug it into your T620. And here's mine down here on my desk, and I've actually booted it up here and you can see the BIOS. But when you turn the machine on for the first time with the USB stick in it, just keep flicking the escape key, and that will bring up the BIOS menu, because we need to change the boot device here. So push on F9 and then scroll down and select your USB stick which contains the ISO. Another thing you might like to change is the internal speakers and disable them at this point in time, or you could do that later. It doesn't really matter because you'll be using the speakers of your TV. And push F10 to accept. The machine will then boot up, and then you should end up getting a screen something like this. You may not have these three icons on here, but you should at least have these two icons here on the screen. This is the Sparky installer, and down here on the bottom line there you can see I've got the wireless symbol. I don't have a LAN plugged in. I do have wireless, but as yet I haven't connected to the wireless network. If you do connect to the wireless network in this state, when the install takes place, it will automatically configure wireless on your machine. So let's double click on Sparky installer, and it'll bring up the Sparky installer. Okay. In my case, I haven't got the network on, so it's telling me that. This is the welcome screen, and we're now going to select our language. Click on next. Now we select the time zone that we're in. Well, I live in New Zealand, so that's my time zone. Click on next. Select the keyboard that we want. Well, we use a US keyboard in New Zealand. Click on next. And here we set our partitions up. And the chances are, and what you should be doing at this stage, is just ticking the erase radio button. Click on next. As you can see here, I've clicked on that. It shows we've got a Sparky partition already there. We're going to overwrite that, and we're going to create a new partition by fully erasing all that. Click on next if we're happy with that. Now we're going to put a user in. So here's the user. That's me, Graham Want. My login ID. I'm going to give the computer a name. Choose a password. And by default, these are both ticked, but you can change them if you want. Click on next. And now we're at the summary. So we've got our location, our keyboard, our partitions, If we're happy with that, we then click on Install. Right, the install has started. I told us it's going to take 15 to 30 minutes, so we'll let it go. When the install is completed, you will get a window come up like this. Okay, it's all done. Fantastic. And just click on Done, and that will close the window. Note here that that is not ticked, which is a nice feature. I don't like it automatically restarting on me. So we click on Done, and then we can look around a bit more if we want to on the operating system here, or we can just go to the menu down here and bring up this the turn off button and turn that to, we power off the machine. You power off the machine, you pull out the USB stick, then the machine, turn it back on again, and when it comes up this time, you've rebooted off the SSD disk. Now I'd advise that you actually do those two steps at this point in time and don't go doing anything else until the software is up to date. So just click on OK and follow the prompts as they come through. Once all the software has been updated, you fire up the browser and find the Chrome website, and I advise that you download the Chrome browser. It's a little less resource hungry than Firefox. Not much in it, but it's a little bit better. Anyway, I download it, and at this point you need to select the Debian version, as that's what Sparky is using. Accept and install. In this drop down, you need to activate that and make a selection. When you drop it down, you've got the GDBI package installer. Highlight that, select it, and continue on. The reason this is, if you use the GDBI installer, it'll automatically install a package for you, and it's the easiest way to go ahead. Here we are. I've selected the GDBI installer, click OK. And there we are, the package has come down. That may take a few minutes or seconds depending how fast your network is. Click on Install Package, and then just follow the prompts from there on in. Okay, put your password in. When the installation is finished, another window will come up, so you close that down. And there we are, Chrome has been installed. I've also changed the wallpaper here, because I didn't like looking at that blue screen, and a nice wallpaper makes you feel good about the product you're playing with. What we're going to do now is install the product Spotify. So we'll click on the Synapse Package Manager, and then we're going to do a search, and we're going to search for Spotify. In my case, it's already installed, so the little box here has got green in it, but if it's not installed, it'll be like that. So if yours has not got it installed, which I'd be surprised if it did, just click on that and click on Apply, and the software will then install. You just follow the prompts. And here we are, Spotify is now installed. Now to put the icing on the cake. As you can see for this session, I've got a new background. And during this session I'll show you how to configure your PC so that when it boots up, it'll boot up with the browser in full screen mode. This will tend to make your TV look a bit more like a smart TV rather than just a PC with a dumb monitor attached to it. So to do that, we'll go down and we'll click on the menu, click on Settings, and then click on Session Startup. Here we'll click on Application Autostart, and we're going to add an application, so we'll click on Add. And in this window we'll put a name, a description and a command. Now the command is very, very important, and to get that command we need to find the command that the PC actually uses to start the Google Chrome browser. So to do that, we go to File Manager, the root directory, User Share Applications folder. We then look for the Google Chrome icon. Now we right click on that, We then click on Application, and there we are. We've got a name, a description, and the command, an all-important command. So we take a copy of that and paste that into your favorite text editor. And you can see the command here. We have to add to that two parameters. The password store equals basic and start full screen. The password store basic indicates to the browser that we don't want to be asked for the keyring password. And of course, start full screen means start full screen. So we paste that full command into the command line with those other two parameters and click on OK. If everything has gone to plan, there's our application that we want to have started up at boot time. So we close that and we reboot the machine. And there we are. We've booted up in the browser in full screen mode, and there's our hot links to different sites we want to go to. Now, something else you might like to do is to change the appearance of your PC. So once again, you go to the menu button down at the bottom here, Settings, and you then click on Appearance. This allows you to change your theme or appearance. Now, currently we're running the Sparky 6, which is a light theme, but it's quite popular today for people to, so if you wanted to have the dark theme, you just click on that, close it, and voila, there we are. We have the full screen browser in dark mode. This is quite appealing to some people, so you choose whether you want dark or light. I've used both Sparky Linux and Linux Lite XFE versions. They both work really well as media centers as they're not too resource hungry. However, just a little note here, if you're having trouble with the display port to the HDMI port of your TV and using a basic cable, you might like to look at trying an active cable. I had trouble with a 10-year-old Panasonic 42-inch TV and had to use a cable, an A-Logix Smart Connect cable, which is an active cable. This cable tells the PC that you're connected to an HDMI device, and rather than just have the TV passing the ID along to the computer. Some TVs don't seem to pass the right information along to the PC, or the PC misinterprets it, but with a smart cable it takes away all your problems. I hope you've enjoyed this little video, and you can now go ahead and build your media center. Bye for now.